Go, friends. Hi, Doc South here. I just realized a great idea for a video. Thank my wife Sandy. She found this, I guess, a posting and shared it onto our Facebook page of a guy named Waving Willie. Waving Willie. Now, for those of you who don't know, Sandy and I basically have been, except for rare occasions to other states, we've pretty much lived in North Jersey. One of the main arteries is Route 206, goes north and south, pretty much through the middle of the state. I believe starts out somewhere down around Trenton and I guess goes right up to darn near High Point. May even go further below Trenton too, I think it might. I seem to remember it does. I don't have a map here handy, but I know I've been on just about every inch of the road. And when you were up in the neighborhood of Cranberry Lake, Andover area, that would be, Morris County, Sussex County area, there was a fella back in, it was years and years ago, that we called Waving Willie. Waving Willie. He'd sit, I think he was handicapped somehow, and he would sit outside his house and wave to you as you drove by. That was his thing. And I guess he'd do that darn near all day long. He'd be out there just, you drive by, hey, wave. Then you see another one coming, he'd wave to that one, wave to both. He'd just be, this was it. Yeah, he'd wave to everybody. And of course, if you were wise, you'd either give a little honk, or you'd wave yourself if you were able to, if it wouldn't cause a wreck. And I don't know if he hollered to people or not. I don't really recall. But quite often you'd beep, wave a little, and thumbs up, and you continue on your road. That much better for the experience. Waving Willie, and I think he was on the southbound side of Route 206. I think he was. And I want to say, I feel like it was just north of Cranberry Lake was where he was. There was a house that was kind of near the road. I could be wrong, and he might have been slightly north of Andover. I just thought I'd share it. It was something to look forward to as you were driving. I wonder if Waving Willie will be out. Sandy tells me, my wife Sandy tells me, they used to drive past him, wave, holler and wave. He'd wave back. He always waved back. And then they'd turn around, come back up the other way, wave at him some more, and then back down and wave some more. And they'd do that for a while. And I guess he really dug that, she said. He had a big smile on his face. Jeez. And again, it looked like maybe he may have been lame somehow, couldn't walk, or ill in some way. But that was his day. That was his thing, was to, at least one of his chosen purposes was to wave to passersby. I don't know, I think that's pretty cool. Hopefully everybody treated him nicely, didn't throw things at him or anything like that, or insults or, that kind of thing. He just seemed to be a nice old fellow, old-timer. There used to be a guy, speaking of waivers, I think I'm going to do this myself when I get old. Yeah, get Sandy to, take me down to Route 57 near the where people park to go trout fishing. Maybe I could sell worms and wave to people. I think that'd be all right. But there used to be a guy, if you traveled Amtrak. Now, this was years ago now. I'm thinking, it would have had to been the late 70s, mid 80s. There was an old timer. There was a town slightly north of Richmond. I want to say Ashland, but I could be wrong. If you look, there was a major town just north of Richmond, maybe 5 miles north. The train you'd be on would be slowing down to make it stop at the Richmond station, and I think the station was on the north end of Richmond, so you didn't have far to go. You'd be wise to be getting your suitcases off the luggage rack and stuff if Richmond was your stop. But the train had to slow down because it was actually going down one of the main streets of town. Yeah, I guess they built the road around the track. Yeah, So yeah, you didn't want to have a head-on with the with the passenger train, or I guess the freights even went through town, and eventually it wouldn't be long. Like I said, you'd be in Richmond. Well, there used to be a guy on let's see, he'd be on the west side of the track. If you were heading southbound, you had to get to the right side of the train, and there was an old timer there in a wheelchair sitting on his front porch. He had a fairly nice front porch. And he'd be, he looked like he might have been somewhere between 90 and 100. And he'd be out there waving at the train, everybody on the train. I would often wave to him just for good luck, traveling south. And I remember one day talking, I think Sandy and I were riding down to Florida on Amtrak, a great ride to take. And I was talking with the conductor, and I said, hey, do you still got that guy that does the waving? He says, yeah. He says, boy, he's getting up there in age, but yeah, he's out there. I said, do you think it'd be okay if maybe we could, would there be a way we could just kind of wave at him from like the window between cars? He said, well, that's not so safe. But he says, maybe if I go with you. He said, I always like to wave at him myself. I'll get one window, you and your wife get the other. And this was, I think, would have been the last time I ever saw the Richmond waver. I don't know his name, but he'd be waiting for you. I guess he knew the schedule, and he'd be out in his wheelchair with a blanket. Yeah, 90 degrees, he'd still be wearing a blanket. That's a Southerner. Yeah. And the train slowed down. Though it was doing about 20. Going through the town, watching out for street traffic. I mean, ruin your whole day to get run over by a passenger train. And the guy said, wait a minute. He said, I can open these windows. Now he says, don't you folks go leaning out. It's not safe. I said, no, I understand totally. Sandy, mum's the word. I'm not. He said, okay. He says, well, we're getting pretty close. I could tell. I said, yeah, we're getting his house about 10 homes down, right? And we're slowing down. And I said, there he is. We see him. Sandy and I are waving. The conductor's waving. The engineer up front was waving. Oh, the guy got waved, something fierce. And again, a big old grin. That was the last time I ever saw him. I imagine he had to have passed away. God, he was way up there in age. I know he looked way older when Sandy and I saw him. And the Richmond waver. I don't know, whenever I see something like that, I do like to, just, what's it going to hurt? It makes your day. Frankly, I think it brings good luck to wave at someone who's waving at you. If nothing else, you sort of got a friend you can look forward to seeing. Anyway, I thought I'd say, waving Willie, same basic thing, only he was on Route 206. I imagine he had pretty strong arms from all that waving he had to do. Yep, okay. And it kept him happy. Who's to complain? Okay, I'll see you later, friends. Thank you. God bless.